Is a public university in Kelantan promoting a weight loss tea which claims it's KKM approved when it's not? Welcome to CILISELASA, where we talk about issue semasa. And the other day, we were scrolling through Facebook when we came across this ad for a weight loss tea called BioKenaf. You guys should see for yourself.
Berat saya dari 140 kg turun ke 85 kg. BioKenaf ni teh herba dari kajian Universiti Malaysia Kelantan. Siap lulus KKM dan SIRI. Kalau you all semua tengah struggle dengan berat badan, cubalah try BioKenaf ini.
That's bold, because even if you use Ozempic, you probably wouldn't lose weight that fast. Heck, even if you kena cancer pun, you wouldn't lose weight that fast. Unless you're like consistently pooping a standard sack of cement over the course of 4 months. We really don't see how this little bag of BioKenaf tea can accomplish this. So, after watching the ad, we decided this was worth looking into, and each time we learned something new about this product, we started pooping more and more bricks. Because, for instance, not only do the sellers of BioKenaf claim that it's approved by the Ministry of Health, they also claim it's approved by SIRIM and certified halal by JAKIM, despite the product not showing up on any of these department databases. Then, when we looked into the sellers, we found that a local public university in Kelantan and one of its departments had promoted the product on their social media, complete with links to buy the tea. And then when we looked at the marketing for this tea, we found out it'd been showcased at the 2025 Osaka Expo in Japan under the National Kenaf and Tobacco Board, and there have been celebrities like Zamarul Hisham and Diana Rafar promoting the tea on their own accounts. So today, we're gonna deep dive into what this product actually is, what it claims to do, whether or not it's actually capable of achieving the things it claims, and how deep this tea rabbit hole goes. Starting with, what even is BioKenaf? So after looking through more than 30 Facebook pages that sell the stuff, landing pages, and buying some for ourselves, we can tell you that BioKenaf is pretty much just a tea made from lemongrass, ginger, and something called kenaf leaves. If the name kenaf sounds strange but familiar to you, it's probably because the plant has been in the news for the past few years. See, the government really wants to make kenaf a thing, partly because they want to quit planting tobacco in our plantations and start planting kenaf instead. This dedicated government agency called the National Kenaf and Tobacco Board, or LKTN, which you'll find name dropped in a bunch of BioKenaf's marketing. For example, in this post, the LKTN apparently sent a letter supporting the efforts in kenaf research. And by the way, this letter doesn't support BioKenaf, by the way, it just supports general kenaf research. So previously, kenaf stem was more commonly used for making fibers and pulp, as well as animal feed and biofuel. So if you were able to turn the leaves, which used to be a waste product, into a drink and then sell it for between 50 to 95 ringgit per box of 10 tea bags, that would be quite entrepreneurial, no? Well, I'm putting air quotes on entrepreneurial because the ads for this product refuse to let you forget that it's the result of research by Dr. Mariana from University Malaysia Kelantan, which is also known as the Entrepreneurial University. We looked into Dr. Mariana, pictured here serving looks as well as serving science, and she appears to be a real lecturer at UMK, specializing in bioprocessing, food security, and functional food. Up until recently, she was also the head of UMK's Institute of Food Safety and Sustainable Agriculture, but despite the cred, we couldn't find any of the research that supposedly supports BioKenaf's slimming properties, which brings us to our next part. Does BioKenaf actually work? As we showed from the video at the start, BioKenaf is being marketed as a weight loss supplement with some seriously unrealistic expectations. Besides the 55 kgs in 4 months thing, they also use other thinspo variants like helping you lose 10 kilograms in 60 days, and that it's 24 times more effective in helping with obesity and cholesterol, which begs the question, 24 times more effective than what? On their website, they credit BioKenaf's weight loss properties to its alleged ability to, I quote, stop the alpha amylase enzyme from breaking down carbohydrates into sugars, which is supposed to be Dr. Mariana's field of research at UMK. In simple terms, that means it can stop your body from digesting carbs in turn and making you fat. Thing is, we found no such research in UMK's open journal system or under her name. But what we did find under Dr. Mariana's own research, which was often included in the ads, was all about extraction methods to get the most compounds out of kenaf leaves, but still no mention of this alpha amylase inhibition at all. According to this news report on Cosmo though, the research for BioKenaf started way back in 2017, and the research, which was titled iKenaf Validation and blah 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 blah, went into the active compounds found in kenaf leaves, which was then seen as a waste product of the kenaf industry. It seems like a part of the research involves making the tea more palatable, as kenaf by itself tastes apparently really sour. But then again, we failed to find papers about it under either Dr. Mariana or UMK Online. The closest research we did find that might support BioKenaf's claims actually comes from researchers at UCSI University, which is an unrelated local private university. In the 2021 paper, researchers looked into how a tea made from kenaf leaves can be made better by mixing them in different proportions with a goji berry and red date infusion. What they found though was the alpha amylase inhibition was the lowest in 100% kenaf tea, and that is most probably the goji berries and red dates that did it. Think of it like if kenaf was a shy kid who can only function normally when they're around their besties, goji berry and red date. However, we don't know if Kenaf vibes as well with lemongrass and ginger because they've never been put in a room together to see how they play with each other, while a bunch of scientists looked at them from a dark room on the other side of a mirror. Maybe ginger has been bullying Kenaf. Maybe lemongrass has been giving Kenaf wedgies. We don't know because there's never been published studies on them together before. So TLDR, despite BioKenaf being marketed as a weight loss product based on research by Dr. Mariana and UMK, we found no such research publicly, and the research we did find suggests that Kenaf by itself may not be effective by itself in making you lose weight. We even actually bought the tea, spent like a month's rent to send it for lab testing to see whether it contains weight loss drugs like sibutramine or 4 other types of weight loss drugs, and the tests came back all negative. So we don't actually have any idea how BioKenaf is supposed to make you lose weight so fast. But weight loss isn't even the only thing BioKenaf is claimed to help with, because their marketing has been like full of unproven health claims like being able to help you control your blood sugar and diabetes, lower your black cholesterol, clean your intestines, lower your blood pressure, strengthen your immune system, eliminate vertigo and migraines, reduce numbness in your hands and feet, reduce inflammation, treat joint problems and soreness, stabilize your hormones, your mood, your energy, increase your kidney health, make your skin glow, and on and on and on and on and on. You'd really think a product making all of these health claims would be classified as a supplement or drug, but according to a document that they love showing off to prove that they pass KKM's checks, BioKenaf is not controlled by the KKM's Drug Control Authority, meaning that it's actually categorized as food. Now, this is important because if it were categorized as a drug, it would need to actually pass KKM's checks and be registered in KKM's database. It would also mean that their ads would be strictly controlled, and any health or medicinal claims would need to be within KKM's guidelines. The fact that BioKenaf is categorized as a food suggests they didn't make any health claims about the product to KKM, and that the product wasn't meant to have all of those miraculous properties in the first place. But that didn't stop them from including all these claims in their marketing, which actually they're probably not even supposed to be legally allowed to do. In fact, this is something several people have gotten into trouble for in the past. In 2017, Alif Shukri was fined 11,000 ringgit under the Food Act for claiming that his products, 2 herbal drinks called Jus Perawan Gold and Air Masho, were able to improve the immune system and help with blood and oxygen flow. In the same year, Datuk Sri Vida was fined 4,800 ringgit under the Medicines Act for claiming that her product, a pomegranate-based drink called Pamoga, can be used to treat joints and burn pain. Back in 2019 also, Nilofa got into a bit of trouble for her banana milk after there were ads claiming it can help people lose weight, lower blood pressure, and control the insulin. She was actually investigated by the KKM, but nothing actually happened because she claimed that the ads were the work of an unrelated advertising company. So basically, she got off the hook because she wasn't aware of how the product was being marketed and hence wasn't responsible for the content. Which brings us to the next question in this segment. Are Dr. Mariana and UMK aware of these ads? To commercialize BioKenaf, UMK worked with a company called Oro Biocare Sdn Bhd, which was founded and led by an alumni, Bukhari Cik Harun. We've reached out to both Dr. Mariana and Oro Biocare to hear their side of the story, but as of the time of us making this video, they still haven't responded. And while it seems that the ads for BioKenaf have been outsourced to another company, unlike in Nilofa's case, it's hard to say that Dr. Mariana and UMK don't know what's going on. For example, here's a video of Dr. Mariana promoting BioKenaf as a weight loss product, and in some of them, even backing it up with her own story of how her cholesterol went down after drinking it.
Sebenarnya saya telah mengamalkan produk ni sebelum pelancaran lagi lah. Saya perlu membuktikan kepada diri saya sendiri adakah ianya berkesan atau tidak. Selama 2 minggu, saya telah mengalami penurunan berat badan sebanyak 3 kg. Maknanya saya melalui proses harian saya seperti biasa. So ini adalah logbook yang saya hasilkan sepanjang pemantauan saya terhadap diri saya sendiri. So yang kedua, saya juga mempunyai tahap kolesterol yang tinggi sebelum ini, iaitu 9.6. Bacaan yang sangat tinggi untuk perempuan seusia saya. Jadi selepas saya mengambil BioKenaf selama 2 bulan, saya telah menguji sekali lagi dan bacaan kolesterol saya turun sehingga 5.1.
Now, UMK on the other hand published a post on their official Facebook page in April congratulating BioKenaf for hitting over 3 million ringgit in sales. The post, in which even UMK's Vice Chancellor was tagged, carried a quote by a UMK official which showed they're well aware of BioKenaf being marketed as a weight loss tea. The post specifically mentions BioKenaf was made to increase the metabolism process in the body by focusing on carbohydrate digestion, and that it would help control sugar absorption in the blood. But there's more! Last June, BioKenaf went global when it was included as part of the controversial Malaysian pavilion at the 2025 Osaka Expo under the National Kenaf and Tobacco Board. We know that the health claims continued all the way to Japan because if you scan the QR code seen here, you can see this brochure which included the health claims. According to Bukhari, who's again the founder of Oro Biocare, which has been selling BioKenaf, The company was formally invited by the LKTN as part of an effort to widen the national kenaf industry's market internationally. At this point, we think there's a chance that everyone involved in this is to some degree aware of it as well, including the LKTN, the Ministry of Plantations and Commodities, the Ministry of International Trade, and probably some random Japanese guys who got lured into the Expo's booth thinking they were selling weed. We actually forgot to mention also, kenaf's scientific name is Hibiscus cannabinus because for, well, obvious reasons. So now we're really just wondering, how did BioKenaf get this far? For a product that's branded as a university's achievement and now been showcased on an international stage, there's still so many things that don't seem right about this. And that's like not even including all the other things we've noticed, like padded reviews, negative comments that have been deleted, claims of counterfeit products, and the more than 30 similarly named sites we found selling the product that ultimately leads back to only 5 companies. Point is, the whole thing feels like because what we do know is BioKenaf is being sold with a lot of big promises and official-looking endorsements, but with very little actual evidence. So whether that makes it an entrepreneurial achievement or just a very expensive cup of tea is something the public and hopefully the authorities will eventually need to decide.